Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Thank you to our beloved lecturer Dr. Ni and also to my fellow friends. My name is Mazlan bin Mamat. So today I would like to present about the topic of communication challenges among employees at Institute Kemanan Belia Negara IKBN Kemasih, Terengganu to work from home during the movement control order MCO. This is an overview global pandemic novel coronavirus 2019 and COV, also known as COVID-19. Is now spreading across Malaysia, particularly in the East Coast region. A lot of changes are happening within the workforce. These changes have probably resulted in lots of adjustments for us, our family, and those we work closely with. The implementation of all MCOs have affected both government and private sector economically and administratively, since majority of the workers are not allowed to work during the MCOs, except for certain limited sectors. Hence, the aim for the study are to find out the communication challenges of work from home between employer and also employees in IKBN Kemasih, and to explore the issues which is involved towards employer and employees in IKBN Kemasih in organizational communication context. Recommendation and solution for managerial implications are also outlined in our studies following the conclusion of our project. So we go look through for implementation of work from home at IKBN Kemasih. Since March 2020, IKBN Kemasih has implemented work instruction from home to staff to comply with the instructions and circulars in force. The rotation schedule on duty is made to minimize the total attendance of staff in the office. The decision of IKBN Kemasih management to implement the work from home directive is based on source of authority issued from time to time by JPA and KBS. The implementation of work from home causes various internal and external communication problems occur where there are staff who are not satisfied with the schedule issued by the management of IKBN Kemasih by various reasons for not working in the office. This causes communication problems within the organization. So we look at a workplace issue on work from home. We know that Public Service Hire Department or JPA via its letter that 17 March 2020 has ordered for the close of government premise and the implementation of work from home strategy to ensure the continuity of government operation in relation to MCO. As such, in order to address the issue above, a study has been undertaken to briefly identify issues by using three decision diagram as below. So if we look at diagram, we know that decision 3 work from home, we know communication challenges come up from work from home during MCO. So the issue can be highlighted here in lack of supervision and monitoring in communication for a reason staff at their home. So it's very difficult to make supervise and monitor of their employees. And then second, lack of interaction before making new policy. So maybe have a reluctance to new policies based on by employees and also by employers. Next, internal administrative instruction. It's not clear misunderstanding by employees. And then staff in the village apply, stranded at home and village is a reason. And then next issues organizational interaction and communication. No direct physical interaction and communication. We know this is a problem. The last one is motivational communication issue. So including reason for family matters like disturbance by children. So we proceed our presentation with Encik Mazri bin Mamat. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mazlan and Mr. Arif. Today I will continue about the issue communication challenge in IKBN Kemasih about working from home. There are several challenges in workplace about working from home in IKBN Kemasih. We are going to using about decision 3 or 3 diagram to explain the communication challenges in working from home at IKBN Kemasih. There are 6 challenges we identify about the communication organization in IKBN Kemasih. The first one, supervision and monitoring in communication. Employees may set their own working hours themselves, and work can be postponed and problems will not be taken seriously until the time limit is approaching. The time taken to complete the task will be delayed and the productivity of the employee will be affected. And they also create the tendency of the employees to take advantage during MCO, and a missing in action always happen during working hours when they are working from home. The second one, lack of interaction before making new policies. When ZPA give their order or circular about the working from home, there will be some challenges in reduces the spirit of the corps sense of belonging and competitor spirit, as well as the productivity of employees. Employees of IKBN Temasek will react aggressively when they are hear about new policies, where it may not be discussed together with subordinates. They will cause a barrier in attaining organizational goals and objectives, and employees started to express their dissatisfaction towards employer or top management. The third one, organizational interaction and communication will be a problem or will be an issue, because there are no direct physical interaction and communication. Before this, we have to meeting physical, we have briefing before we make new policy, and any interaction or communication that is done online, especially which related to confidential matters, will have the issue of connectivity, risk and hackers and interruption. Work application come with certain costs and connectivity issue. As a result, urgent matter needs to be postponed and everything will be interrupted. The fourth issue about communication challenge in organizational, with its issue related to family matters like disturbance by children while working at home, doing housework, etc. will disturb the motivation of employees to work efficiently with high quality output. Then managers only manage to communicate, covering, address, review, and monitor. The employees work based on what has been produced at the deadline, and not via progress. It can be issue about motivational communication issue. The fifth about issues in working from home, in communication about internal administrative instructions, they are difficult to understand by the employees. Communication barriers and misunderstanding among staff, where the application form sent to management does not include the documents required as proof to approve their application, such as their children certificate of birth, their spouse schedule, their health document, etc., etc., that we are needs under terms and conditions to apply working from home. And the differences and in interpretation and the inability to describe communication at interpersonal as well as organizational level may lead to miscommunication. And the last, staff in the village apply for VFH. One of the conditions for staff in IKBN Temasek to apply to working from home is to be within an area not exceeding 25 km. We call it in station from the office to qualify them to the VFH. Their staff return to their hometowns, for example, in Selangor and Kelantan, apply working from home. This causes the management not to approve their application to work from home. And the decision of the management caused the staff to be dissatisfied and say that employer did not take care of their welfare. The impact or the implication about the issue, there will be negative stigma created from employees' mindset, which is against the head or subordinate. It will be constant conflict that brings a bad image to the top management and employees to work in own capacity, and this will decrease motivation of employees in long run since working in office. Everyone is driven by other colleagues, career driven. Output cannot be monitored and cannot be communicated on daily basis. Instead, by deadline, making any progress report on the work to be difficult to prepare and analyze at early stage for any mistake or wrong decision or wrong direction. Level of noise in the department, which is employees begin to express their emotional by show dissatisfaction to the employer, to the top management. There's some issues, issue about the communication challenge in organization when we starting to implement working from home during MCO. That's all. Thank you, and I give it to Mr. Arif to continue about the solution and recommendation based interim. Thank you.
Thank you very much to Mr. Mazri and Mr. Mazlan. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. To Yang Berusaha, Dr. Nik Fakrul Hazri bin Nik Hassan. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to present on our project. And I will present about the solution and recommendation. Our group will recommend several solution recommendations. The first one, based on theory, we look into three theories. that were recommended. The first one, Linear Model of Communication, Shannon and Weaver, 1949. The second one, Macmillan Theory of Needs, 1960s. And the last one, Laswell, 1948, the 5WS theory. Okay, about the linear model of communication, Shannon Weaver, 1949. This is about how the employers need to understand first what the ideas they want to use. In the case of work from home, they have to understand what is it work from home before communicating it to the employees. Second one, they have to have the planning that will consider their goals, attitude, and the needs for that to be implemented, and how it will affect people who will implement it. The third one, employees need to explain the schedule of working from home, and who will be rotated, who will be involved, and who will be working at office, and who will be working at home. And the last one, communication must be clear, whether verbal or written, either through email, WhatsApp, telephone call, Google Meeting, etc. The second one, Macmillan Theory of Needs, 1960s. This refers to how to motivate the employees to perform their tasks even though they're working from home. And there are three drivers of motivation involved. The first one, achievement, affiliation, and power. The achievement refers to the employers need to know and to explain to the employees what needs to be accomplished and how to show their competency in performing the task during work from home. And they have to know that everyone will be appreciated for their own effort when performing their task. The second one, affiliation. The employers need to know that what the employees need when they're performing their task. To be recognized, to be loved, and to have the feel of a sense of belonging, and to be accepted as part of the organization. And then the last one is the power. By means now, everyone has to have control over own action, even though they work from home. And then the work must have certain objectives, for example, acquiring position status in the organization. And this is depending on whether the employers manage to influence others and not what they be influenced. And then the last theory, Laswell, 1948, the 5WS theory, refers to how the employees need to know who to report during work from home, when to report, what should they report, where should the report be conveyed, either through email, WhatsApp, group, Google Meeting, etc., and who should control the communication process. Okay, and then we go straight to the solution recommendation based on the practicality. In this situation, the employers need to review technical needs and resources during work from home. The work schedule, communication, accountability plan must be produced. Role of superior, role of employers, role and of the employees also, and set up relevant communication channel in order to ensure everybody is updated and are communicated. And then other recommendations, supervisors to submit daily brief report to the management to know the current project, level of busyness, and also capabilities and performing the task. Second one, review work schedules. The third one, communication between supervisor and employee must be efficient. The fourth one, a proper planning and monitoring program must be introduced, and the management at all level employee must be kept in touch with it, and everyone must be updated in end channels. And then at the conclusion, work from home has become very important, and it is in favor among the employees. And part of the orders from the government to reduce the close contact and also to reduce the risk of infection of COVID-19 during the COVID-19 pandemic. And in this session, there are pros and cons of the work from home. As such, in fact, both management and employees should always communicate between each other to ensure organization goal be achieved, even though there are some employees work from home and some work from office. With that, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum.